Alright, so this is the last sprint question of the week 3 handout, and it says, a fair coin is flipped 10 times. What's the probability that neither head nor tails shows up twice in a row? And then, express our answer as a common fraction. So if you've watched any of these other videos, you might have heard me say that with the probability of getting, a desired outcome, it's just all of the ways you can get that desired outcome divided by all of the possible outcomes you could get. So in this case, the probability of neither heads nor tails showing up twice in a row would be all of the possible ways that could happen divided by literally everything you would get when you flip this coin 10 times. So first, let's think about how many total outcomes there are there when you flip a coin 10 times. All right, so the first time you flip this, you're going to get either heads or tails. So that's two different options. This is the times, and then this is the options. So you're going to get two different options. Well, what about the second time you flip it? Well, if you flipped a head the first time, you could either get heads or tails. And then if you flipped a tails the first time, you could either also get heads or tails. So, well, now that's four options. And then same thing here. The third time you flip it, you could get heads or tails from this tail, heads or tails, heads or tails. And do you notice that every time we flip this coin, we're basically just multiplying all the possible outcomes by 2. And there's a reason for that, because for every outcome, well, now there's 2 other outcomes. And then for that outcome, there's going to be 2 more. So that's why our total outcomes is just going to be the number of times we flip this, right? It's going to be 2 to the power of the number of times that we flip this. So as you see, if we flip it once, well, the number of outcomes is just going to be 2 to the first. It's going to be 2. If we flip it twice, it's 2 squared, it's 4. If we flip it 3 times, it's 2 to the third, which is 8. So similarly, since we're flipping this 10 times, our total outcomes, well, that right there, that's just going to be 2 to the 10th. All right, so that's like just the total amount of things that could happen when we flip this coin 10 times. So we can put that on the bottom, 2 to the 10th. And so on the top, we have to find all the ways we can get our desired outcome. So let me just write out little boxes, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them. And we're just trying to see how many times can we flip this coin so that neither heads nor tails show up twice in a row. So if neither of them can show up twice in a row, like we can't have heads or tails, well, that means that these faces, they must be alternating. So one thing we could have is heads, tails, tails, and so on and so forth. And then another way this could happen is if we started with tails instead of heads, and it happened like this instead. But besides this, there is no other way for neither heads nor tails to show up twice in a row. So these are the only 2 ways to get our desired outcome. So our final probability, well, that is just going to be 2 over 2 to the 10th, which we can simplify as 1 over 2 to the 9th, which is equal to 1 over 512, which is our final answer as a common fraction.